Good evening, folks. WrestlePurists podcast back again. We are under 90 minutes away from technically kind of the start of Forbidden Door, right? Buy-in
Yeah, it's
anyway.
buy-in. It's all the same.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely not the same, but I get it. It's a big night, man. There's a lot of people excited. There's a lot of DM panic. There's a lot of concern on the
Well, yeah.
timeline.
Well,
There's
yeah.
there's a lot of those. My favorite genre of tweets of all is, should I buy this pay-per-view? Which is the best tweet ever, because I don't know what you want me to respond to that. No, I don't know, man. It's fucking wrestling. Anyway, this is WrestlePurists. Please
It's
thumbs up.
different for us, though. It is
Well,
different for us.
because they
It's
pay
like
for us to watch.
£13 here.
I
No,
know.
no,
I,
I don't mean to be
I
clear. I'm
talked
not
up to
saying about
50 already.
the decision itself. It's just the idea of being like, let's take this to Twitter. Like I have a good answer.
Oh.
I don't fucking know.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know? Do you care about it? Anyway, give this video thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. It helps us a bunch. We have an expert panel for a night of superstars. We have a show of stars here. Manny, I'll start with you. Sunday evening, brother. You're fired up. I know that already, but how you doing, pal?
I'm like really nervous and going crazy right now. I woke up last night. I was like, man, I'm not really interested in the show. And I woke up this morning around 12, and I was like, Forbidden Door, man. Let's get into it, bro. I was so pumped. And then right now, I'm just like, if you look at our group chat, it's going nuts right now too. So that's just how I feel.
It's weird, right? Like you and I think we're actually in a similar place of like, and Monty too, actually. I think we all struggled to separate what the card is from what we wanted it to be for a while there. And then we've got to the weekend and it's like, well, you know what, man? It is what it is. We can either have fun with it or we can be miserable. And it's
Yeah.
like, I'm fired up now. Like I am. I'm excited. I'm ready to go. And in a weird way, as much as I'm devastated that Danielson can't wrestle, always devastated when that dude can't paint another masterpiece. But it's had like a weird kind of appeal to the show, right? The surprise element is fun. So we'll get into that, of course. Monty, how are you tonight, pal?
I'm good. Pretty much the same as you, really. Like, we haven't been, overly jumping up and down about this card, to be honest. But it is what it is. They've managed to pull off something. Well, let's just say I woke up this morning fired up for Claudio there.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you put the Swiss
I'll be
flag
honest.
out?
Like, it's you know it is as well. Like, it's kind of hilarious because obviously it's Forbidden Door. It's New Japan AEW's first big event, and for me, when I woke up this morning, it's Claudio Day, which could have happened on any show. It didn't need to be Forbidden Door, but it will be a good card. There'll be some great wrestling. There'll be a lot of cool novelty to see some certain people wrestling in America, especially in AEW ring. And yeah, man, it's Claudio Day, fired up.
There's definitely like a conversation we're absolutely not going to have tonight about the fact that we're almost excited for something that isn't actually announced. But I'm not going to do that tonight. We'll save that for another day.
I've said it for days now. I'm all in on it, bro. Like,
Right.
It is what it is. It's dangerous. It's toxic. Wouldn't recommend it for anyone else. But ever since Wednesday, I've been completely sold a ticket, all in, fucking balls deep on this being fucking Cesaro, Claudio Castagnoli, bro. If it's not like, it will like ruin my night. I'm sure I'll get over it when there's another 4-star match or something after it. But yeah, I'm all in on this. It can make or break my night. And if it is him, then all fucking hell, I'll get the pay-per-view 12 out of 10 or something.
Bro, I was getting bored with all like the Forbidden Door coverage and all that. Like I was just getting tired of it. And then like I woke up this morning and says, I need to talk about it. I just need to go on here and talk about it with somebody. Like I was just so pumped up.
Yeah. I'm definitely with
Johnny
you.
Blackpool.
That's Phil. I'm definitely with you in terms of this conversation about this show definitely got old quick, right? Like one side was like the build sucks, the card sucks. That was Monty and I's side, by the way. And the other side was like, well, go fuck yourself. Actually, be very thankful and please send an email to Ghetto thanking him for allowing these wrestlers to be on this show. There was really no middle ground. It was quite unhealthy, honestly, and I was tired of it too. But in all seriousness, jokes aside, like there is something to be said for being thankful for these moments. This is the kind of event that we've come to expect because wrestling's been crazy for the last few years. That was kind of like, it felt distance away not too long ago. Now, granted, it hasn't been, if it had Punk and Danielson, it would feel even more surreal than it does. That's a shame, but there's still an awful lot of talent on tonight's show. I guess the kind of logical thing to do here Let's kind of.
Well, we're joined by
oh my god,
a prestigious friend of ours. You may notice him. He's a big star around here. He draws a lot of money for us, money that I don't then give to him.
Oh my god.
He was asking for people to cash app him earlier. It was Phil.
Oh my god.
Is he breaking news? Is he going to come on like Woj? Break some news. Does he have like a New York City backdrop behind him?
Here he is. Hollywood Hangman here. Hollywood Hangman Adam Pearce. Got his fucking mouthful. I'll just call him Hollywood. Backup Hangman. What you saying, bro? What's good? Or is it? Has he disappeared? What are we doing? Put his phone down. Just gone.
He just looms. Yeah, he just looms large. He just gives the drop sound effect.
What's going on, everybody?
This is incredible. How are you, pal?
Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Are you guys fucking ready?
Yes.
We're ready. Yeah, bro. Come on. Spit it out.
Kind of concerned, but.
Well, I'm glad everybody's here. I'm glad everybody's healthy. I'm glad everybody's excited for Forbidden Door. And that's why I decided to swing by the WrestlePurists podcast. You know, I'm feeling like a giant today. You know, so I wanted to hop in this battle royal of a podcast you guys got going on. And
you're making me nervous.
I just ordered a sandwich and I made sure to put some Swiss cheese in it. And you know, I'm feeling good. It's I looked outside. It's not very cloudy today, and so that's wonderful. And I hope everybody's having a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. Hope everybody's having a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. I don't expect to be the hero of this podcast because you guys are heroes in yourself. You guys are kings, so to speak, of kings of wrestling podcasts. I guess I could say. You know what I mean?
This is the worst bit I've ever heard on one of these.
It's giving me anxiety, man.
It's uncomfortable.
With each reference, I'm like, oh my god, he's doing more.
just comes in with hella lore.
I can't handle this shit, man. I'm not even watching this show live tonight. I'm gonna turn my phone off and watch. I swear to God, if at 4 p.m. tomorrow I see Tim Thatcher walking down the aisle for the Blackpool Combat, I swear to God, I'll never see the rest of that pay-per-view. I'll turn it off, turn my phone on, and be done with this. I can't deal with it, man. The anxiety's too much, you know?
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. I'm like over AEW surprises. Like they kind of stress me out now. They don't even like excite me. They like kind of fucking stress. It's like just fucking tell me. You know what I mean? I have a good feeling who this is. I spoke to some people. You know, I'm not as plugged in as the top journalists in the industry, so to speak. But you know, I know a guy or two, and I have a good feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's why I wanted to swing by. You know.
Yeah.
So, how you guys doing today?
Tremendous. I think better for that salvo that you offered there, but I think better. Yeah, I'm good. Monty's been a piece of shit, but all the others, we're good. The rest of us.
I'm more anxious now.
If it's Jonathan Gresham, this didn't happen.
How do we pivot?
It can't be Gresham.
We need to pivot because I don't think Hangman's brand can deal with that being like an L. Like you need a pivot in some way with Gresh,
somebody gave me a picture of Gresham on a plane and said,
yeah.
Laughed at me. They're just like, oh look. I said,
here's my fallback if anything goes wrong. I'm just gonna say that I was worked.
Yeah, but that's still an L. It's not like that makes it any better.
Yeah. You should say that.
I mean, hey, listen.
Is toxic. That's what you should do.
Listen. At the end of the day, I mean, what's my man's name? Chris Haynes was, Cassidy Haynes, right, from Body Slam?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cassidy,
Chris Haynes is very different.
Yeah, that's the NBA guy. Here's the thing, Cassidy, his claim to fame is getting Punk and Danielson correct, right? But then, nobody noticed that he had 4 straight clunkers right after that. He said that Moxie was going to be at the TBS debut for Dynamite. That wasn't true. Mm-hmm. He said that that the Cody deal with WWE fell apart. That wasn't true. Does anyone remember that story? Like he said that the Cody WWE deal fell apart and like people were going crazy. Yeah, that just wasn't the case. You know, so if Body Slam can get shit wrong, Hollywood fucking Hangman can get shit wrong. But
I just, you know,
I don't think I am. I don't think I am. Yeah.
I hope not. All I will say is I have very little to offer this brand other than my experience in the podcasting arena. And I will tell, this goes to people watching at home too, there is a way to approach scoops that is foolproof, right? You simply, the next show after something happens, you explain that you actually knew and someone told you last minute, but you couldn't say anything on the air. Or you allude to stuff, and if it happens, you bring it up, or you just never talk about it again. Yeah,
you tweet eye emojis. You see, like around times like this, you tweet an eye emoji.
I'm gonna do it now.
Then when it happens, you quote. When it happens, you quote tweet it, and you say,
now with a specific fuck it.
The funniest. Listen.
Backfires quickly.
So Dave has an interesting approach recently. I don't know if you guys noticed this because like Sean is the real like scoopster these days. What Dave does is he just speculates on his podcast, right? And then after something happens, he just asks around like, okay, so then how did this come together? And then once it's happened, they're like, oh yeah, so we called Claudio and then he decided to do this. And Dave's like, cool, I'm gonna just reveal that on Observer Radio. You know what I mean? And so like he gives you background info on things after they happen, you know. And in the lead up, he just kind of goes, think it's this guy, or it could not be. You know?
Did you guys ever hear like him talking about Claudio on Observer Radio? I think it was like maybe like 4 or 5 months ago. He was like, oh, you know, they have the tape library, so now they have all his highlights and all that. Like he just went on this huge route, and then after like Brian said, "So do you know if he's coming?" No, just speculation. They just had his highlights.
Dude, I got mad. I was out doing something, and I went on Twitter, and there was a tweet about like, "Oh, Claudio's going back to WWE," and I immediately text Monty because I know Monty will know what story is actually real and not. Because some people just make stuff, and it was fucking David just wrote like, maybe WWE will bring him back. People like just blaze ahead.
Yeah, that was a crazy Friday afternoon, to be honest. Yeah. People do that a lot though, so it's just kind of is what it is. Media literacy is important, people.
Apparently, yeah.
Read the reports yourself.
Depends who you ask.
I'll tell you this: an AEW wrestler thinks that the replacement for Danielson is Chris Hero. I don't know if this individual is working me. I don't know if he's just playing dumb, but that's who he believes it is. That's what I can tell you.
How do we feel about that? Because I love Hero, so it would pop me in like a weird way, but I'm also so locked into being Claudio that it would be a bit weird for me. I have to be honest.
Well, K-Man just killed the chat, so I mean,
it's.
Oh, what are we doing?
What happened?
There's no way it's fucking Chris Hero, bro.
Listen,
man, there's no, bro. Like, no, man. I love a bit of Chris Hero, friend of the Late Night Grin. I love Hero, man. He's great.
Late Night Grin.
I'll just tell you guys, it's Claudio. You know, it's Claudio.
Yeah, it is, man. I think so.
Yeah,
bro.
It's Claudio.
I ain't spoke to no one, by the way. But I've been 99.9% sure he's Claudio.
In general, right?
Throw him around. He's going to pick Zack Sabre Jr. up and throw him around. He's going to fucking toss him around. He's going to do the UFO gimmick.
Yesterday I was just like, I was working, and then out of nowhere on break, I said, imagine like Claudio does what Prime Kurt Angle used to do, like roll out of somebody's like submission into the ankle lock. Imagine Cesaro does that, but he gets him into the UFO.
I'm telling you right now that I'm already gonna give this Sabre Jr. Claudio match like 4.5 stars. So,
yeah, that's fair. I agree with that. Let's make a kind of union on that front now. Monty, are you okay with that if we do this on the air? We're locking it in at 4.5. Penciling it in, I should say. Penciling it in. Something bad could happen, you know.
I already said I said in the chat earlier, like when this replacement's Claudio, well, he's already locked. He's locked in for the rest of the week.
Zach's gonna have like an armbar and he's gonna like pick him up and fucking slam him into the mat. It's gonna be awesome, man. I can't wait. I'm fired up.
I saw like another person that covers wrestling. I'm gonna say that name. Say that. Why would he go to AEW? He's gonna get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
He's gonna go back to WWE. I'm just like, why would he do that? Yeah, I mean, if he goes to BCC, he's gonna be a main event act compared to what he's doing in WWE.
I also don't think like his personality suggests that he just wants to like wrestle and have fun. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
It's Claudio, guys. Just like, but bullshit aside, like I was kind of beating around. It's Claudio.
Yeah.
Yep.
When you said Giant and Battle Royale, I thought your scoop was that Paul White was going to win a Battle Royale. I was very excited.
No.
Can you investigate that for me, man?
Yo. Okay, I'll reveal this DM because it's funny and I don't think you'd mind. I just opened a DM from Sean Ross where he said you're the one holding all this up. That's funny.
That rules.
Yeah. It's
I like Lamora's question a lot. If it is indeed Claudio, do you guys think it was a mistake not to advertise before to get more buyers? I genuinely think that's interesting because he is a big name, you know.
I do think he should have just. You could go with either or. Personally, surprises for a show you have to pay for, like I don't know. I don't know, man. You can make the argument for either or. I'm a paranoid guy, so I'd rather just you tell me who it is going into the show. You know what I mean?
I think it's almost. I wonder if it's because the concussion deal was kind of late notice, so they couldn't get him to TV. And you don't want to announce Claudio if he's not there, right? You want him to get the pop at least, right? I think it was maybe what it was. So, because that's going to be a big one tonight, folks. Do not. I mean, look, I know it's obvious and like whatever, but Chicago is going to go crazy for Claudio tonight. Like,
the thing too, you don't know, like, you know how Tony always talks the press conference thing, like all these deals come like last minute. So who knows if this Claudio thing was just like yesterday or
didn't I say on one of our podcasts? Didn't I literally tell you guys that it makes you wonder, like, what was the plan with Claudio before this Bryan Danielson injury?
I don't even think Tony was really high on Claudio. I mean,
can I tell you guys something?
I don't know.
Can I tell you guys something?
Yes, absolutely.
I can tell you guys this. One of the scoopsters will probably have more details or confirm or deny it. But Claudio was very much a few weeks ago talking to the two major American promotions on a deal that can, adequately pay him for his services.
Mm-hmm.
He was very much entertaining, like even like going back to WWE, like he's very much entertaining.
Well, he's been fortunate in that there's so many injuries on both sides at the top of the card, so his value goes up with each injury, right? I know it's the truth, right?
He played it very smart. He played it very smart. He played it very smart, not just jumping to something right away because one of the things for him, I was told like a month ago that Claudio's primary goal right now is to make a lot of money.
Good for him.
Mm-hmm. And the thing about it is, this year, Sami Zayn, AJ Styles, and Kevin Owens all reached substantial raises on their deals. And he was hoping, as a veteran, as a longtime worker in the promotion, that he was going to get thrown something similar. And the primary reason why he let his deal run out was because he was not offered something similar.
Mm-hmm.
And so his main thing primarily was just, look, who's trying to fucking pay me? And he didn't really have an answer to that right away, which is why he kind of just hung around and just waited to see the landscape. And so with these injuries, if anything, if you're Tony Khan, who maybe like is willing to sign Claudio and wanted him, but like maybe wasn't jumping like right at his face with the right deal immediately, for Cesaro, it's perfect now to kind of be like, did you think about that, Tony, with the injuries? You know what I mean? And now his price goes up just for hanging out, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And I'll tell you this also. There's a very good chance that the beating around the bush with LA Knight and his maximum male models was because they were trying to get pen to paper for Claudio, on the WWE side. And because for those who were paying attention to that, like it was one of those things where it's like they're gonna announce the first member of the stable every week, and like they just wouldn't do it, and they kept postponing.
Yeah, they've done it this week as well.
I didn't. So exactly. But yeah, anyway, look, the bottom line is Claudio is going to be the mystery person, like 99.9%. I can tell you that I know that promotional material was made for him for Blood and Guts, like the graphics. So
that's what was in the. Well, since you've already said it, even though it's a recent report, we don't really normally do this. That was what was in the select.
Oh, did that finally
drop?
The
promotional material.
It
literally like as you came on.
Yeah,
it dropped.
So
really? Oh, you guys should have. Damn, Oh shit! Wow. If you told me that, I would have tried to beat him on the podcast.
No, you said it. You said it the same. Like as soon as you came on, the report came out. So like,
Okay. All right. I have a
So
theory.
basically, your long dialogue, which
was happening.
Blew it.
blew your shot.
Monty should have told me, because here's the thing, right?
you were cooking. I didn't want to say anything.
I don't know if you guys saw. I tweeted as I was coming in. I tweeted saying that a story is about to break. Like, tune into the WrestlePurists podcast, right? And I have a theory that Sean saw my post and said, "Fuck this motherfucker," and then just pressed send on his thing. Oh my god. Yeah. So there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to drop in and be Adrian Wojnarowski for a second there.
Yeah.
And Cams and just beat you to it.
Here's what else I can say to you guys. I'm looking forward to Forbidden Door. For all the issues with the build and all this other stuff, at the end of the day, come showtime, which is today, I am buzzing for the show. I am very much ready for the show. You know what I mean? I'm excited. I hope it rules. It probably will. It'll probably rule. Like, again, now I'm 100% like, because Ishii's gone. Like, the Claudio match is what I'm looking forward to most, because he's a tremendous wrestler, and Sabre Jr. is a great technical wrestler. So that could easily be the match of the night. I'm looking forward to that. It's gonna be a great show. What else is there to say? Hiroshi Tanahashi is incredible. They're doing the LA Dynamite set, which is cool, for the show. That's pretty interesting. And I don't know what you guys are planning to do tomorrow or for the rest of the week, but I may be available tomorrow if you guys want to do something. We'll see. For those on Twitter, there will be an episode of the Backup Hangman side tonight on Spaces, so be sure to tune into that. I'll try to have some guests of note if possible. But even if not, I mean, you're going to be listening to me talk, and like, there's nothing better than that. So, guys, thank you so much for having me again. This is Adrian Wojnarowski dropping by. You know what I mean? And I'll leave you guys with this.
Incredible.
There it is.
That was something, wasn't it? Anyway, folks, thanks for joining us.
It's we have fun here. We have fun.
Yes.
Sean Rossap outdoing us as always.
He's quick, man.
He's
quick.
He's good, man.
If Hangman had asked me, I'd have said, "Listen, you don't wait on that thing. Tweet that shit now."
For real, bro.
Yeah. All right. Well,
what are your scoops, Joe?
I'll tell you about them once they happen. See, someone let me in on that. What it will be is, like, Claudio will have, like, his music will have a particular quality, and I'll text Monty and be like, "I was in on that. I knew he was going to get a hip hop track." In fear of burying the lead, should we try for the next hour to talk about stuff that isn't the mystery match? I know.
Let's do it.
What match?
You got the card up?
Yes.
Well,
You got it, yeah.
I think New Japan has it in the order that's going to be in.
Really?
Yeah.
They usually do, and they've got the order. They've kind of, they've posted
like
the
a really specific order. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel bad for the women because where they have it, where they have the match in between, they have it sandwiched between the Claudio match and the triple threat tag match.
Pop. All right, hang on a second. Forbidden Door match lineup. Is this the one with the Young Bucks match starting?
Yeah. Because usually New Japan has it in the order it's going to go in. So,
Should we do like a match by match preview, or do you want to just do like what match you're most excited for? What do you want to do?
Let's do match by match, but if something's just like whatever, we can just skip it. Well, not skip it, but
The Gun Club and Max Caster against the New Japan Young Lions, Alec Coughlin, DKC, Kevin Knight, Yu Uemura. They'll warm the people up nice, right? They love seeing Max Caster out and all that good stuff. And the result on this one has been slightly divisive. I kind of just assume Billy Gunn ain't doing no job at the United Center.
Yeah, of course not.
The Young Lions are losing this, right? Yeah, I think so.
Anything on him, bro?
Anything on this, Manny? I know it's not.
No.
No, not even. Anything, Monty? I know you're a big fan.
I guess it makes sense for it to be a buy-in match, doesn't it? Because obviously, the factory's been involved on New Japan Strong, and like I said, it kind of makes sense for this kind of thing to be on the buy-in. So
Actually,
it's fine.
I wonder how they're gonna, because these guys, the Gun Club and the Acclaim, don't really work the style of the New Japan. So I wonder, I wonder how they're gonna handle getting chopped.
Billy Gunn when he eats that first shot.
That crew of young lions, man, they fucking scrap in there, dude. They get in there and fight,
Yeah, guys, you remember that time Samoa Joe chopped Caster that one time and he dropped right away and he just started screaming? I don't know how he's gonna handle all these hard-hitting action.
It's a real shame we haven't got Samoa Joe tonight and doing something, right? Wouldn't that have been fun?
Yeah.
It's a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. You reminded me then of like when he came into AEW and his main offensive weapon was he just chop people and like walk around the ring and pop.
Yeah.
Crowd would just be like, yeah, this rules. Anyway, QT Marshall and Aaron Solo, the aforementioned factory, up against Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi. Brother, you give me some QT versus Hiroki Goto.
Did you know
Sounds like your cool main event, baby.
Did you know QT Marshall's in the Strong opening and he's sandwiched in between Suzuki and Tanahashi?
I didn't, but that's one of the best things I've ever heard. That's incredible. QT's a genuinely good wrestler. Like,
yes,
this is obviously this is clearly a match booked. So like, this is one the New Japan guys are going to win.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to it. I think Goto. It's not a hot take really. In circles like this, everyone kind of admires Goto the wrestler for all of the other stuff to it. But seeing him in there is going to be fun. Chance for him to look good and actually win a match. Manny, anything else on this one?
I think the match is going to be rule. I
Yeah.
think they're going to go out there and have a good 6-7 minute match. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I like this. Monty, anything on this one, mate?
I mean, it's just a bit. Like I said, it will be a lot of the novelty stuff,
Yeah.
Like I'll pop for Goto and Yoshihashi, wrestling in front of a big crowd in America. But
I think they'll get a good reaction. Do you think they'll get a big reaction, or like people not care?
I don't think care, unfortunately. But it's what it is, man.
Couldn't you have answered that with like optimism and said, "Yeah, they're gonna go crazy"?
I can't lie to the people, bro.
Like, imagine I asked you that and you was like, "Are they Chicago?"
It's weird too because isn't the factory like the number one heel faction on Strong?
I stopped watching just when not because of them, but I kind of faded off my view, so I don't know. But they got a pretty big angle when they came in, yeah.
So it's like that's funny. Just in the whole scheme of New Japan, like the heels, that the factory is the top heel faction. Just like that's just funny to me.
Yeah, like maybe there's viewers that have never watched the AEW and just see the guys on Strong. They're like, "This is a fucking dream match." QT in there with Goto, Finally, they lock it up. Clash of the Titans. I'm excited. All right, I'm genuinely excited for this one. Swerve and Keith Lee, El Desperado and Kanemaru. Bro, this match could be killer.
It probably will be.
This doesn't need a lot of time either, right? Like, Monty, am I crazy? I have high hopes this one. I'm very fired up.
No, I can't see it being anything less than like very decent, to be honest. Yeah, man. Four good wrestlers having a tag match. It's what it is. It's good to get Swerve and Keith Lee on the card. Obviously, El Desperado was on TV, so it's nice that they actually included him on the card somewhere. Although it is obviously just a pre-show, but another nice addition to the buy-in. So yeah, man, I'm all for it.
There's a strange sort of video game element to this one. It's a really weird match that no one imagined, which I popped for. Manny, are you excited for this tag match here?
Yeah, Desperado and Swerve in the same ring. That's going to be awesome. And the thing with Desperado is he has like an issue where like some people always say like he only wrestles to like the level of his competition.
Yes.
Bro, he's going to freaking rule in this match with both of you guys.
These opponents in this setting. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. He's gonna rise to this and have a lot of fun with it. This is like the main event of the pre-show, right? Basically, so I think they're gonna rock it. All right, so the main show now, again, folks, we're assuming because usually New Japan operates in a way where they just, frankly, they have like a straight line their cards generally, right? The title matches in the second half. You have the mix. So the fact that it's in this particular order, we're assuming that this is because this is how the show is intended to be laid out. It may change, but we'll just go based on this. The opening match is still listed as an 8-man tag, which pops me tremendously. There is no longer 8 men in this match because this show is cursed. So Hiromu is not here, but we still have the incredible trio of Shingo, Darby, and Sting, the dudes of attitudes, over against El Fantasma and the Bullet Club and the Young Bucks as Bullet Club. How do we say this politely? Did this match get better?
It got better.
Because the subtraction of Hiromu was slightly undone by the, you get what I'm saying. There was another subtraction there, and I ain't trying to dig the guy out, but my excitement isn't lower for this, I guess is what I'm saying. Manny, I think you're in the same lane, right?
Yeah, this match, I pumped my fist when I saw like what happened, but then I got I put my phone down because I was at work, and then like 5 hours later, I see Hiromu all sad because he had special AEW gear made for this. Like he had special AEW gear, which I felt sad right away because I feel like he's been waiting to work AEW for a while, and then he gets sick. So it's just like
it sucks.
Yeah, but this match is gonna be awesome. Sting doesn't miss in this spot, and we're getting him there with the Young Bucks. So this is gonna be awesome.
This is a fucking insane match, isn't it?
Yeah.
Someone in the chat said it. Shingo needs to paint his face, man. Has to be done. I don't care if he does half. I don't care. Just some paint on the face. There you go.
And that
piece of shit.
Shingo's been waiting for it. Shingo's been waiting for the wrestling with the Bucks and stuff like that. So he's ready to go, man.
He's fired up, bro. He's ready. You can tell. You can kind of tell. Even just his tweets and stuff. Like, he's ready for this, bro. He's ready for this one.
They're gonna absolutely rock it. It goes without saying. Monty, you fired up for this? Assume.
Yeah, I am, to be honest. It's even like on the Bullet Club Elite side, it's like El Fantasma. Like, I know he's not really the person you'd pick out in this match, but I just think obviously the Bucks are going to lean heel. Obviously they'll be just pretty clear cut heels in this one, and I think that El Fantasma will blend in very well doing that heel shtick with the Bucks, because it's pretty similar to be honest. Just the kind of like the wacky heel sort of stuff. So I think El Fantasma will fit in perfectly with the Bucks. Bucks can fit anyone in perfectly with them, to be honest. You could throw me in there and it would be all right. So
that'd be unbelievable, wouldn't it? How would you approach that? Would you kind of be like, would you try and treat yourself like a heater, or would you kind of be like Cutler? What would you do?
I'd be like Hook.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do a lot, but what I'd do would be impactful.
So would you do like the big kind of, you'd be too cool for school kind of thing, right? You just walk down,
Yeah, just walk down, hit a perfectly executed suplex, get out of there,
All right, good answer. All right, I'm excited for this one. I initially had my issues. I still have a couple issues, but again, as we said at the start of the show, you got to accept what they're giving you and have fun with it because it's going to be a lot of fun. King, Yuta, and Shota up against Jericho, Sammy, and Suzuki. There are a couple of things I wish I could change, but as it is, the live crowds are going to go fucking crazy for the combo of Suzuki and Jericho's theme, one after the other. And then you get Eddie Kingston in a big building in fucking Chicago, kicking the shit out of Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho, and he's going to fight Suzuki. I'm in on this. Manny, what about you?
This match peaked when I saw like Tokyo Sports report saying that Jericho joined Suzuki Gun. And I think so this is just like a appetizer for him. Like dessert.
Imagine even like the tracksuit. Like awesome tracksuits they have. Imagine Jericho sporting one of them. He can pull it off, man.
This is cool. That was a Google Translate, so I don't know if that's exactly what they said, but that's what like the headline said from. So I was just pumped. I was like, the tracksuits.
Like, I'm not saying they should have done like a WWE skit, but can we talk about how fucking incredible the visual is of like Jericho getting on the phone to Minoru Suzuki to loan El Desperado? I need some guys. I got El Desperado on the nearest plane, bro. Don't worry about it. It's fine. I love the idea that when you want someone to jump a guy from behind, you can't use your own faction or anyone backstage. You have to fly El Desperado over to get the job done.
Only one man for it, bro. Only man for the job.
Amazing. Monty, this one should be a lot of fun, right? This 6-man.
Yeah, it'll be great. There'll be Eddie chants because there is every single time AEW hit the TV screen. Yeah, it'll be great, man. It'll be a lot of fun. I'm sure it'll be great. Obviously, it's not the ideal match I would have had Kingston in on this pay-per-view, but I'm sure it'll be a pop. It'll be a nice. It's like a nice filler for the card. I'd say.
Mhm.
I'm not saying that the crowd's definitely not going to go dead for it or not care about it or anything, but it just
It'll be
kind of
light,
it's one of those matches. Like, it's not a marquee match, but it also helped beef up the card, and it'll be a lot of fun.
Can I ask you guys? You just mentioned them. Have you got to a point yet where you just accepted the Eddie chants? Do they still do what they do to me, which is like I like stand up.
I'll pop from every time.
Yeah,
I'll pop from every single time. I was gonna do. I think I've said it to you before. I was gonna do this beat months ago. Where I was just gonna tweet Eddie chants every single time there was Eddie chants because they happen that often. And I feel like people don't deep how often they actually are.
Yeah, do you realize during when the heel beat downs, people just chant Eddie? Like they just want him to come out and save everybody.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
The craziest one was when Anarchy in the arena, Mox and Brian were fighting in front of the people, and Eddie was on the big screen fighting backstage, and the place just came up with Eddie chants. Like, dude, that guy is he's over crazy. Wednesday is his big night in a lot of ways, but tonight it will certainly feel like one of those nights, right? He's going to be over huge tonight. And
Joe, I want to say this before I forget. I hope they do your thing where you said on the late night grin where they just zoom to Claudio, and we don't see who it is, and
Yes.
he just gets mad about it.
I'm glad you brought it because I've forgotten. Shoot had because I remember I spun it slow, but Shoot had the idea initially of he used the reference of remember when Bischoff debuted. Famously, they got the shot of Booker responding to him, right? Booker being surprised at him, but they actually showed Bischoff, which is always one of those things. Why did they do that? But Shoot said that it would be great if like Eddie was in Gorilla. And like you imagine Eddie playing, so who is it then? Brian standing there with his shitty white t-shirt on. Who is it? Who is the prick you chose to take your place? And Eddie just does this face and storms off, and then you cut back to the arena, right? So the crowd, some of them will know, but honestly, most of them kind of know already. You wouldn't spoil it, but you'd add a nice detail. If you don't do that, you gotta have like an Eddie promo later in the show because
if we're going off the card, because the next one is Zack Sabre Jr. So he's walking already back to the backstage.
You could even do to make it more showy. You could actually have King. We assume they're going to lose this match, so you could do the deal where maybe you go to like a DraftKings gimmick or whatever the fuck, and you come back and Eddie's on the ramp. He's got a mic and he's pissed off. He said, we got our ass kicked tonight. All I want to know is who did that, judgmental prick Bryan Danielson pick as my partner, and then fucking Claudio comes out and he's lost it.
The thing too is so you can have that Eddie cutting that promo because King has issues with Zack Sabre Jr. too because supposedly in Rev Pro he was supposed to wrestle him and they never got to do it because of the pandemic. So you can just have like Zack Sabre Jr. just cut him off and just like walk to the ring, and then he's already more livid already. What just happened, and then Claudio just comes out and he just walks off.
I'm really intrigued, like how you do blood and guts. And you like do the Claudio thing while having the baby faces win is really interesting to me because I think it's obvious that the Danielson, not obvious, but I think it's very likely that him and Danielson would have actually got past their differences to win blood and guts. But like, you don't want to do that with him and Claudio. That's a new thing, right? That's a new wound to kind of in AEW anyway to explore. So it'll be very interesting. I hope we get something. I'll be honest with you guys. I wouldn't be surprised if we just get like a Road to promo that gets tweeted by me. And Monty retweets it and it gets a couple hundred likes because, you get what you get, I suppose. But it's fine. It's whatever, man. I'll take what I get in that regard. I don't mind. As you said, Benny, up next would be the Zack Sabre Jr. match. We haven't talked about this one a lot. Yeah. Monty, have you got any read on who this could be? Chris Hero?
Heard a few names.
Bit Busick.
Oh, that's awesome.
It would rule, hanging on.
Bray.
Yeah.
Bray, Wyatt 6. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
New Japan superstar. Noah superstar. Timothy Thatcher.
Yeah, that'd be good. A lot of political elements at play there, Manny. A lot of political elements. Could you actually, like, in all seriousness, we know it's not going to be, so let's have some fun with this for a minute. Could you fucking imagine Wyndham came out with like a singlet on and shot a double leg takedown on Zack Sabre Jr.? JR started talking about he knew he always had it in his locker, and he's just a dead serious amateur
hard shot, everything. Yeah,
just the suplexes and fucking.
Who is the number 2? Would you say? Since we're on the subject of the
we haven't talked
mystery
about
match. Yeah, no, we've talked about Claudio for like 99%.
I'll be honest, and I don't really want it to be this guy at all. there's only two guys that really are worth doing this sort of thing with, which is him and Johnny. If we're being real, like now again, I don't think Johnny makes a lot of sense, but in terms of Chicago's reaction, it's those two, right? That's it. Like the rest is a clear tier below. But I don't know. That's my fault. Manny, have you got any read on like your preferred number two?
One sec, man. Did you hear Dave Meltzer loves this whole like Goldberg to AEW thing. Like it's almost like a bit that he's doing just to pop himself. He's like the only person he could be. It's like, well, it's not Goldberg.
Hold up. Hold the phone. Phantom has just put something in the chat that is podcast altering. What name did Wyndham trademark? Montel?
Wyatt 6.
Please put Phantom's comment on the screen. It happened. Folks, lock in. Tune in to Dark Elevation this Monday to see the latest of the Dark Order. You may get a surprise, let me tell you. Anyway, Goldberg. Listen, I'll be totally honest with you. If Bill fucking Goldberg walked out and wrestled Zack Sabre Jr., I would be in absolute awe. I would not sit down. Could you imagine Zack talking shit and he just fucking spears him? Gets him up and jackhammers him.
The bell doesn't need a ring. He's just like pointing at him, walking towards him.
After Danielson said he's getting like a technical masterclass and it's just Goldberg.
He can do the heel hook thing he does, you know, the little like, kind of rolling heel hook thing he does. He's a shooter, bro. He's constrained a little bit, you know. Maybe Danielson respects him. I don't know. On the mat, maybe he's rolled with him. I don't know, man. I'm just saying. Imagine the visual. Manny knew where I was going with it. You can visualize Zack talking shit. Goldberg's doing the things, getting all fired up. He's like just sniffing and shit and getting crazy. Yeah, it's good.
I would have did my English impression, but I don't know any like slang, just like chat or something like that. Just like
what was the one that Hangman did the other day when he was doing a Zack impression? He called it "you bloke."
Yeah,
you bloke. I'm gonna tap you out and it gets like speared.
Funny thing is that he actually called him not the most British thing that you can call someone, which is darling.
Yeah, true. Jamie just brought it up. The regal part of Goldberg being in would be incredible. At a shoot fight 25 years ago. Why did they run it back on Turner?
I felt his power.
Another crazy name, like people keep saying, is like Shibata. I'm like, bro, Shibata can't even wrestle. Like, what do you want him to be in like this crazy match in a steel cage match like 3 days later? He doesn't even have like internal bleeding in his head.
In the was it the Ibushi story where it like kind of semi came out that Shibata was definitely not cleared?
Yeah,
it's like the cross promotional show is going to wrestle twice in 3 days. Good luck. Fuck it, I don't know. All right. Anyway, so I think our answer was Goldberg, Monty, for your question. Who's second? Oh, that's what you're looking for, mate.
Yeah, it was perfect answer.
As you said, Manny. On this card, the women's title is next. Thunder Rosa and Toni Storm. This is a big, big spot in all seriousness for both women. Rosa has had a really
weird.
I would say up and down, but honestly, it's just been weird. I know it's a lazy word, right? But I agree with you, Monty. It's been weird. It's never really got going. I thought her and Serena kind of killed it at the pay-per-view, honestly. But there was no follow-up, which surprised me because Tony will extend feuds a lot that don't need extending. I was like, maybe you can get another match out of that, right? A street fight or something. Didn't do it. And here we find ourselves a match I don't think any of us expected this soon. Tony is the babyface challenger, a babyface match. Monty, where do you stand on this one in terms of both finish, but also just your general interest in what should be a big match, you know? It is a big match.
I think there is a good chance that Tony can win this. It wouldn't surprise me too much, to be honest. The women's world title feels kind of out of focus at the moment, to say the least. To go to your point about the Thunder Rosa Deeb story not continuing. So Deeb was only just on Rampage, and it's been how long since that match? I believe that's the first time she's been on TV. So just the follow up to that feud, even though it's something that they could have got more out of, even the follow up to it wasn't the greatest. So that's just an example of how the women's world title has kind of shifted out of focus recently, pretty much ever since Britt dropped the belt, to be honest, which is kind of the unfortunate truth that we were kind of hoping wouldn't happen as soon as Britt dropped the belt. But I kind of guess it is what it is. But yeah, I'm sure these two will have a good match. It's a big spot for them. it wouldn't surprise me too much if Tony won and was confronted by someone after. But I guess we'll see.
Would you think that'd be a good decision, Monty, if she won? Where would you stand on it? If Tony won tonight, would you say thumbs up or not sure?
It would be a shame for Thunder Rosa because she's had it hasn't been like the most memorable reign, and it hasn't really been her fault at all. Anytime she's been given a promo, she's done well. Anytime she's had a match, it's been, pretty much all of them have been solid. Obviously, there's the Marina match, which was controversial, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, man, it'd be unfortunate for Thunder Rosa, but I guess if Tony likes Tony more, and that's who he actually wants to get behind and get the women's title back to where it was when Baker had it, then I guess it's kind of the sacrifice that he would feel he would need to make. So I'd be torn, to be honest, on how I'd feel about it, but at the end of the day, I just want to see the women's title get a bit more focus on it, and the division as a whole just kind of uplifted. So if Tony wants Tony Storm to be the woman to be the face of that, then so be it, I guess. But if it's Thunder Rosa, then I'm perfectly fine with that as well. But they just need to pick it up with her.
Absolutely, Manny. Where do you stand on this Women's title match tonight?
Before I say that,
yes.
I guess they put a banner up and said that All Out is happening Sunday, September 4th in Chicago, in the arena.
Sunday, September 4th.
Yeah,
in the United Center again.
Well, it didn't say. They just have the banner up saying that. It's like in the arena, so I don't know.
Yeah. Monty, you know what? You know that for us, that'll be the 5th, right? 5th of September. You know what that is, right, Monty? It's my birthday, Monty. What we're going to do? We're going to do like a live... Like, you can't cover All Out. You're going to have to do like the Joe Holbert show. What we're going to do is we're going to be, double booked.
We'll do a 12-hour stream.
10 hours to me, 2 to the All Out review.
Around that.
You could fill about half an hour of people coming on.
Yeah, it depends if we can get Bob available, to be honest. But we'll see what happens.
He's pretty good, man. He's good at this podcast. Have you ever heard him?
I listen to the 31 religiously. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's good. Cool. Yeah. Robert O'Neill you're talking about. Okay. Manny, where are you at on this Women's title match, pal?
I hope Rosa has fun on her international tour.
Oh yeah, of course, there's that as well. So
she's not gonna her luggage isn't gonna be heavy, I guess. So
wow, man, he just said like a Bobby Heenan line, like he was Tony's manager.
Yeah, grin on his face.
He just got a heel promo on this thing. What is this show tonight? I mean,
all these dialogues, man.
We got scoopsters now. We got heel managers on the show. Good lord, man! All right, well, fair enough. There you go. Tony Storm. Apparently, I personally think, genuinely, I think Rosa should keep it. But we shall see. I really hope the match is great. I think it has a chance to be. If it is this placement, it will be a slight struggle, but we will see.
Just to finish,
stardom.
There you go.
Yeah, kind of just to quickly finish it. I'm all for. I definitely. It feels like Thunder should win, but it's like having Tony lose another big match. Like it's just kind of
Yeah.
It would be a. I don't know. It's a weird match to book, man. It is actually quite a weird match to book when you think about it, because it's like, what do you? Like, whoever loses, it's not exactly the smartest thing to do with them at this point.
So, do you not think Tony can gain though from like losing a big match that's hopefully like really good, rather than just kind of? I get you, but like
if it was like put in a position to be that, then I'd probably agree with you. But judging from the position that we're looking at in the card, I don't think it's going to get that opportunity to be that. They're probably going to get about 12 minutes in between the most heated parts of the show, and
I don't know.
I know, man.
I agree with you. I do think with the women especially, they have to be careful of being too protective, because like that's how you end up with title matches that no one buys. We can't beat this woman, that woman, and then you get to like 8 down in the depth chart, and you go, well, she's wrestling Red Velvet at the pay-per-view, and it's like, you have to, at least there's some jeopardy here. We're talking about it. We think she might win. you know?
Yeah, I like. To be fair, I do like it with my world title matches, especially when you don't know who's going to win.
But I agree with you. To be clear, I agree with you that this may not be positioned to be what I described, right? Where someone really gains in defeat.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. I mean, I thought Tony made a hell of a start.
Yeah.
I think the Brit matches, I'm not even going to do the Brit thing here, but like, I don't think it really helped her necessarily wrestling Brit twice in singles matches.
And each match getting worse.
Yeah, it's difficult. Like, I just, but I think Tony's obviously got a huge degree of, already she brings lots of division, but potential wise, I think we all agree she could be like a major kind of focal point. So, I don't know.
If we say Storm wins, is she the fastest outsider to win a title in AEW?
When did she debut? March? Did she debut in March?
Yeah. Because maybe it was FTR.
FTR won the belt in September. They debuted in, I want to say, May. I think after the Double or Nothing, right? Double or Nothing.
Yeah. It was the first show after, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be that or this. I think this will be quicker. I think. Yeah, it's weird though because it doesn't feel like she's been presented in a way that would make that kind of logical. She's just she's very quickly just become a part of the division, which is not. There's something to be said for that. I mean, again, that's something I liked about it with Swerve. Like everyone got mad about the Swerve thing, but I kind of like that he just felt like a part of AEW quickly, and we could have cool matches and have him be on the show without worrying about him, beating Tony Nese in 8 minutes. I think there's something to be said for that, but I do agree with Monty's concern, and the key is the follow-up, right? And that's kind of the coward's way out in this kind of conversation, but the key is the follow-up, whatever they do tonight. So hopefully the match is good. Ring of Honor and IWGP Tag Team titles, Great O'Khan, Jeff Cobb versus FTR versus Roppongi Vice. They're going to kill it. I have to say, I've said it elsewhere. I'm sorry, guys. I've seen enough triple threat tags for a while. Can we just, not every pay needs a triple threat tag. I get it, but it's just a little much for me. But that's not an AEW thing. Just wrestling in general has fallen in love with these in recent years. This one's obviously going to be great, though. Is it a formality, Monty, or FTR getting these belts?
I'd assume so.
Yeah.
I would assume so, to be honest. Because the win, it's not like it's for one of the belts, it's for all the belts.
Yeah.
So it's like, if it was for just one of the belts, maybe I could maybe be swayed on United Empire maybe winning it. But because it's for all the belts, I can't see a United Empire or a Roppongi Vice walking out with ROH and IWGP gold, to be honest. So I think it is pretty much a formality, but it will be a great match. Of course it will. The 3 very solid tag teams. FTR and Roppongi Vice are great. United Empire, nice tag. More, obviously, Jeff Cobb especially more focused as a singles wrestler. O'Khan pretty much as well, but two good wrestlers put together. Not a bad tag at all. FTR obviously one of the best in the world, if not the best in the world. So yeah, man. And just to echo your point, there is a lot of these triple threat trios tags.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's gonna stop though once FTR gets the titles. I don't think they trust it.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Which is, the issue with that is like why, but I agree with you totally, which is a shame. Can you put Joe's comment on the screen here, Monty? He says, Will Washington's pick looks like there are 4 chairs set at the announce table, so Kevin Kelly might be there all night. My question now becomes, how long into the show is it before Jim Ross directly insults Kevin Kelly?
Right away.
Immediate in the intro.
Right.
Welcome to Forbidden Door. Go fuck yourself, Kevin Kelly.
Have you seen the set? Have you seen like how crazy the set looks?
No, I've not. I've not seen it.
Do you think we're gonna get Grumpy JR at something like at the 2-hour 45 mark? Or
half an hour? Half an hour in, Great O'Khan's doing like takedowns. He's like, just look at Kevin Kelly.
Oh, he's doing the Mongolian chops.
Dude, what if every time like a New Japan wrestler does something JR doesn't approve, he just looks at Kevin Kelly like he's like his teacher?
Like it's his fault.
Yeah, like this is what you let him get up to over there, huh? I see it. That's bad.
The set though looks insane though. If you took like acid, I feel like you'd be just tripping out like how crazy it looks.
Really?
Yeah.
Is the so I'm assuming the canvas is just the usual, right? Is that what we're getting? Just
I haven't seen the canvas. I've just seen like the set. Like that crazy graphic they have floating around?
Yeah.
For like that's the whole LED thing. and it's the whole ramp.
That's
So,
cool.
yeah,
Cool.
That's the LA. Yeah, that's the LA, so isn't it?
yeah. So
That's cool because I was really excited. I knew it wasn't gonna happen, but I just talked myself into it. I really wanted the ring to be like a diagonal split. I thought that'd be so cool. The New Japan crest and that'd be tremendous. But I it's fine. If anyone knows, please put it in the chat. But the stage sounds cool. I'm looking forward to that part of the show. I'm intrigued by just how it feels. Like it'd be nice if it did feel different to an AEW show, right?
Yeah.
Like it just felt like a joint. It would be cool. But maybe Kevin Kelly will help.
DraftKings logo on the mat, I think.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Pieces of shit. Here I am trying to map out some sort of wonderful crest, and they're just sticking a load of DraftKings logos on it and leaving it at that. God damn it, wrestling pros are trying to make money. How dare they? Manny, where are you at on this winner take all tag match?
I think we're gonna get FTR winning, and then I don't know who they're gonna wrestle at. I think they're gonna have the titles all the way to Wrestle Kingdom, and they're probably gonna wrestle the Good Brothers at Wrestle Kingdom or something. For the
Did you see? Before we, right, it's actually while we were live. Did you see what Rob put in the group chat? It was before the Sean report went on select. He was like, he was like, I asked Sean who the surprise was, and he told me Chelsea Green.
He'd tear it up with Zack Sabre Jr., brother. Let me tell you, tear it up 3 1/4.
Should take a crazy bump.
But yeah, I think FTR is winning, and then they're gonna have the race for all gold at for the Bucks at All Out,
which is gonna be very historic.
Yeah, I
Genuinely.
think it's gonna be 2 out of 3 falls. I hope it is because I don't know what other stip you would have for. Because have you ever seen that Young Bucks match they did with the Briscoes where they had a regular one fall was regular fall, like a regular match, second was lucha, and the third was hardcore. I hope they do something like that for all the titles. And it's gonna be weird seeing FTR with AAA belts and the New Japan belts. It'd be crazy visual.
I really think that, especially if Punk's not back, that feels like it should main event All Out, right?
I feel like that's like the biggest tag match. I mean, I know it's happened like twice already, but I feel like the match just gets bigger and bigger, and especially with all the titles on the line, you're just like, man, this was like a historic kind of match that people are going to be talking about forever.
The other thing too is like there's a certain degree of historical relevance with that pairing. I think, like, I do think you can kind of. Look, I'm not an expert, folks, so this is just me talking here. I'm not saying they are or they aren't, but I think you could reasonably suggest that they are, like, in history going to be considered the top 2 teams.
Yeah.
Now, again, I don't know, but like, I think JR would be willing to say that. Absolutely, I do. And if you build it that way, my God, that'd be something, wouldn't it?
And it's weird too because it's like when I think of the Young Bucks, I don't think of FTR as their best feud because I think of the Lucha Bros, and then if you think of FTR, I think of like DIY or something like that.
But, American Alpha.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like both these teams are having their best matches ever against each other, which is like it's weird. Like I don't know, they feel like a weird rivalry.
I think that's part of what the rivalry is, though, right? It's the idea that these 2 teams built their own argument and their own legacy separate, which made the eventual meeting this kind of, this is a bad comparison, but I'm using it, like a kind of Mayweather Pacquiao-esque deal, right? Where it's like, will we see those 2 meet? We've seen them face similar people, and when I think of the Revival or FTR, I think of those NXT days of DIY and American Alpha and so on. Honestly, those 2. And with the Young Bucks, you think of like mid-2010s Ring of Honor, or maybe PWG, or those New Japan junior tags, right, where they would open Tokyo Dome and fucking tear it up with Red Dragon or Time Splitters, whoever it may be. They've had many a classic with the Briscoes. I was lucky enough to be at one of them, and I couldn't believe what I saw. I mean, the Briscoes, by the way, are in the conversation we're talking about. And it's this idea that in FTR and the Young Bucks, what you really have is a clash of philosophy, a clash of wrestling taste, but really at core what you have is 2 incredible tag teams that are made to wrestle each other, right? And I just think it's magical, man. Like, look, if Punk's back and it's Punk versus Moxley, you ain't gonna hear any complaints from me if that closes all out. It probably should. But as a fan of tag team wrestling, I truly adore that part of this genre, this medium. You're probably not going to get any bigger than FTR versus the Young Bucks for all those belts. So it'd be really cool if they closed it, wouldn't it? It'd be neat. So I don't know.
Yeah. And I just with the Young Bucks and FTR, it's just it's just I just can't fathom like that match. Like it's happening in a time where tag team wrestling is just being revitalized.
Yeah,
And it's just gonna set the standard, and it's gonna be kind of hard in my like mind. Just like where does tag team wrestling go from here? Because I feel like those two teams are just the pinnacle of what we're watching.
I think people are probably kind of lost on, and like I think we're all guilty of this, right? Like it's kind of crazy how much depth there is in terms of great tag teams. Now, when greats are, I shouldn't say that because you use that term kind of loosely. I just did. But there are so many teams on any given night can have a great match. And folks, it was not always that way, especially in the US side of things. There was a couple of teams there for a while that were keeping it going. Like, I don't think any of us are fans necessarily of Jurassic Express, but let's be fair, as champs, they had a lot of really good matches, right? Like they weren't stinking it up by any means. AEW's division, we're at a point where Santana and Ortiz feel like they're not even like in the tag ranks anymore.
Yeah,
and they're a fucking good team, you know.
I'm gonna say, I'm pretty sure the Bucks and FTR are gonna wrestle again. But when you think of them, you're just gonna think of the first three matches, the first three trilogy. Mm-hmm. So I mean,
absolutely, and I even think honestly, I agree with you, but I think there's a chance that someone like Dax would just be like, leave it as that. You know, that's the story told. You don't need to, because he's. If you didn't know, folks, it seems like old Dax Harwood takes pro wrestling very seriously, and I admire that. I respect that, and I think he wouldn't want to kind of fuck with it until maybe some years down the line.
But. And I'm sure the Bucks too, because if you hear them talk about it, sure. I'm pretty sure they're not going to want to, because they say that those matches put a lot of stress on them. Mm-hmm. All guys involved, so it's like I don't hear them talk that way about when they wrestle the Lucha Bros or anything like that. Right. So even if you hear Kenny talk about Okada, they say that they don't want to have any more matches against each other because it's just like emotionally you can't like keep having these kind of matches and stuff like that. So
absolutely, yeah. I'm actually rewatching because and I've said this before on my shows. Like I know how great they are, but I wasn't watching New Japan as closely when the Kenny Okada stuff happened. I was watching before and then like after I came back. I was just kind of in and out and stuff. So I don't think of that series the way a lot of people do, and I'm watching it now. And like I'm watching it thinking to myself, you don't want to just add another one of these on just for the sake of it. Like you told the story, man. That's the beauty of this shit, right? There's always another opponent to find. But yeah, I'm with you for sure. All Atlantic title. First champ to be crowned. Clark Connors is in the building. He's out against Malachi Black, Miro, and Pac. I think this is one of the most interesting matches of the night in terms of the result. I can easily, God bless Clark Connors, but I can easily talk myself into the three AEW guys as being like the choice. Monty, which way are you leaning right now?
I think it will probably be Pac. I think that's kind of like the consensus. Bucky's favorite, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it'd be cool to see Pac win any title, to be honest. Even if it is the new All Atlantic title. The match is interesting, obviously, with the addition of Clark Connors. I think I said it on a podcast earlier in the week. Clark Connors is good, man. Obviously, he's nowhere near the stature of name that people would have hoped to be the replacement, but this could be really big for him, man. Like if he has a good showing in this, and the other three guys like make an effort of trying to make him look good, like this could not. Well, it already is easily probably the biggest match of his career. Like this could definitely, like, you know, it could definitely elevate him. So hopefully he gets a really good showing, and I'm sure it'll be a great match. All four wrestlers involved, great. And like I said, my pick would probably be Pac to win it. To be honest, obviously up the lads, the British lads. So
that's both your prediction and your preferred pick, right?
Yeah.
Both? Yeah. That's fair. It's worth saying, Jim, and I agree with you totally about Clark Connors. And what makes it interesting is, like, all three of these guys are guys that have got some serious, like, you know, serious history behind them, man. Like, Pac's been a world-renowned wrestler for fucking over a decade, you know? Miro. Right, yeah, it's Miro came out in a fucking tank for WrestleMania. You know, Malachi Black, Aleister Black, Tommy M, whatever the fuck, the same deal. Like these dudes have got serious cred on the world wrestling stage, and here's Clark Connors. It's a big spot for him. I think he's going to do very, very well. I really like Malachi Black as a winner, and I've talked myself into it more and more every day. I think Monty will be right about Pac, but I did a show earlier on Late Night Grim where I kind of looked at Malachi's run. This Wednesday, as far as I know, folks, I could be completely wrong, I probably am, but this Wednesday, I believe, was his first singles match since he wrestled Pillman on the TBS premiere, January 5th. And that's because we know, House of Black, we get it, we understand. But I really think this belt could give you an excuse to book him in just matches, not for the sake of matches, but just get him in action where he's a great wrestler, Manny, which way are you leaning here for the All Atlantic title?
My first thing is I found out Clark Connors isn't Australian. He's from Seattle. And I thought this whole time he was from Australia. And
how do you get it so wrong?
Because he comes out like in crocodile gear and all that. So I just thought he was. And
fair, yeah.
this is like a big spot for him, since he beat a heavyweight, and juniors never beat heavyweights in New Japan. So they're high on him. So I'm just interested to see what he does. But I'm going with Pac. I think Pac's just gonna win this.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. The match will obviously be very good. I have to admit, it's fucking brutal. Ivan Ishii. I don't even disagree with what Joe said about. I think there's something to be said for what Joe said about Ishii's a weird fit for a fatal 4-way.
Mm-hmm.
But we would have got him and Miro interacting, and that sounds incredible. It's just a shame, but it's no one's fault. It is what it is. Will Ospreay, Orange Cassidy, Manny. I know you well enough to know this was a very traumatic match announcement for you.
It was. I've been playing 2K. I've been playing 2K with just Andrade and Ospreay this whole time.
Fair, very fair. Monty went for it. I see Monty go for it as his friend, but I saw both in the group chat and on the timeline, you made Monty's handling of this look like he didn't care. I mean, you were going through it, man. We're about a couple of hours away now. Where do you stand on this one?
I mean, I'm sure it's going to be a good match. I mean, everybody keeps tweeting me and mentioning me I can't wait for your 4.5 star rating. I can't wait for you to be jamming out to Jane, which I think is a bad song compared to his current song he's using now. It's whatever. People are calling me Cornette because of this, but it's not going to say anything.
Well, Monty, by comparison to that, you're going to sound positive whatever you say, pal. Go for it.
It just isn't. It'll be a good match. Of course it will. Orange Cassidy is capable of, hitting a higher tier match, 4-star plus, whatever you want to call them. Ospreay, clearly, obviously one of the best in the world in many people's opinion. Big star. Obviously, I would have probably liked to have seen him wrestle someone, just of higher stature in AEW roster. And I know people love telling me that Orange Cassidy is protected and blah blah blah. But let's be honest. Protected. No, let's be honest, bro. He's not. You can't stand him next to some of AEW's top stars. And Will Ospreay is genuinely one of New Japan's top stars. So he just main evented the Tokyo Dome, bro. Throwing him out there with Cassidy. Apparently Will does want to wrestle Orange Cassidy. So.
Wrestle Kingdom, good Beach Break, similar.
Of course, he'll say that after he found out he can't wrestle Andrade.
I'm sure it will be a good match. 100%. But like I said, it's probably not the match I would have booked myself, and Will Ospreay probably would have a good match with about 95% of the AEW roster. So
I honestly think they might steal the show, bro. I really do. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, it could be.
I just want to say it's going to be weird, though, if we don't see United Empire anymore on AEW. I feel like they've been a big part of the show the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Kind of weird just not seeing them wrestle anymore.
Absolutely. I think there's a real chance to steal the show. Orange on the Brawl last night was pretty, or Friday night was pretty crazy, man. He came out swinging. I think you may get something different here. And if Orange, is in that mode where he's all offense, you may get a fucking thrill ride, dude. If the bell rings and Orange immediately hits Orange Punch and goes for his moves and gets a couple near falls, I'm telling you, if they work from that point, they're going to have an insane match. I don't know what they'll do, but I think that's what they might do. I have no doubt in this match being great. I don't disagree with you, by the way, about it's not the obvious pick, right? Let's be real.
Yeah.
If you posted a month ago a picture of Will Ospreay and said, who's he wrestling at Forbidden Door? Very few would have said Orange Cassidy. Not because he was injured, because it wasn't an actual pick. But I saw enough on Wednesday, and I know enough about both guys. I'm pretty confident this is going to be, it's going to be pretty damn awesome.
I hope we get Orange Cassidy.
Go ahead, sir. I missed it.
I just want to hear. I want to see Orange Cassidy come out in black denim or something like that.
There you go. You immediately change your mind on it if he has black leather jacket. The shades are like tinted. Would you be like, fuck it, let's go, 4 1/4?
Yeah, I put it out there. Yeah, I would go crazy for it if he came out in all black.
That would be something. The New Japan listing, by the way, unless I'm missing it, does not have their title match on it, which fucking owned. Take that, Adam Cole. So we'll just assume that's next because it's not there. Switchblade Jay White defending the belt, the IWGP belt that still annoys me every time I see it, against Adam Cole, Kazuchika Okada, and Hangman Adam Page. This is one of those ones. This is a perfect example of like people
What
tell you this.
What is Hollywood doing on Twitter?
I don't know, mate.
I've just looked down and I've seen him at Tony Khan. Let's nerd out on the WrestlePurists podcast sometime soon. Thumbs up emoji.
Absolutely not. I'll miss that one. No way I'm doing that. Absolutely not. Me sitting here, bringing up Serena Deeb's TV follow-up after the pay-per-view uncomfortably.
I really want the Oracle of Wrestling to meet Tony Khan. That's what I'm really looking for.
Yeah, I think Tony wants that meeting to happen. That'd be quite the exchange, quite the interaction, I'm sure. This is a perfect example of like, I just did it to you guys. And it's like, people say this match is going to be great. It's like, I know. The Meltzer floor for this 4-way is like 4.5 stars. This is the one thing I can't shake. God, I wish we had an Okada singles match here, man. You know, the one thing I look at this show and I'm like, it just lacks one more signature singles match. And Okada's clearly the guy for that. And honestly, I don't even care who. You could have done Okada versus like Darby. You could only weird. I don't care. I just wanted to see that in this setting.
Who do you think you could safely match against Okada? With like, so of course you could just say Hangman, but you know there'd be quite a lot of politics involved in the finish of that.
Which, to be clear, I don't think there should.
You know how you just mentioned Darby, like that is a pretty safe. You know, you could just do that. Okada could just easily beat Darby, and no one would complain about it. It'd probably be good for Darby. You know, who else are some other names that could actually do that job for Okada, but would also be like potentially like 4.5, 5 stars sort of thing.
Well, I think in fairness to them, this is where the AAA thing hurts because Andrade immediately comes to mind.
Yeah,
right? Like, undeniably.
Or Phoenix or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, you could also, though, in fairness, like the All Atlantic thing didn't have to be those guys, right? Like Miro and Okada, fuck it, man. Like, I'm in on that. Let's do it. Like Pac and Okada, Malachi and Okada. I've said this way back. I'm stunned they didn't use Eddie as like one of their top guys to lose because he has Forbidden Door on Wednesday, not Blood and Guts on Wednesday. So that's like his win, But
I'll be really upset. I mean, the match is cool. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be awesome and all that.
Yeah,
I would get some singles, but I'll be really upset though if Hangman just ends up taking the pin in this match.
Totally agree. Yeah. Because at that point, so just give me the singles match, right?
Yeah, it's at this point, just have Hangman lose Okada and then just do Jay White, Hangman, and then do Okada, Cole. If that's the point. If he's going to lose anyways, and I get it. You don't want to do 2 singles matches because then I know this is like a old way of viewing wrestling. It's like, 2 of your top guys lost to New Japan, 2 top guys. But you still have Moxley winning the title, being Tanahashi. Yeah. I feel like who cares if you have a 2-for-1, like
I agree. I think
how do you go ahead? How do you think it will go? So I'm assuming that most people are assuming that White is going to pin Cole.
Yes, that's what would be my.
What do you think that looks like angle wise? Do you think they'll do an angle afterwards? Or what
kicks the shit out of him, Monty. That's what it looks like. No, I don't know, mate. I'd imagine he like betrays him. Adam Cole. The whole bit is that Adam Cole just is like a step behind Jay White every turn. So my guess would be that Cole, he moves first in screwing over Jay. They rebuild the relationship within the match, get a little bit of heat on one of the guys, and then Jay ultimately twists the dagger and turns on him. Would be my guess, but I don't know.
The thing too is we just don't know where the story is going because we don't know if Jay White and Adam Cole is going to happen in New Japan, or it's going to happen here in the state, or we're going to have the big blow off between Undisputed Elite versus New Bullet Club in AEW. So we don't know which match is happening where. So that's what we got to see too.
Absolutely. And again, let me stress, we all know it's going to be great, folks. No doubt about what
Yeah.
they're going to produce. It's just I kind of wonder what could have been. Monty, I think you're in the same boat on this one, right?
Yeah, definitely. Politics, though, man. Same reason Andrade is not on the card, I guess. Obviously, a different kind of politics, but
Yeah.
it's just that's what it kind of feels like. Like you're doing a 4-man for the world title on a on a collaboration card. It doesn't it's not when we found out that this card was happening, I don't think it was the match people were putting together for Okada, Hangman, or any of the people involved, to be honest. But kind of in the same vein as Orange Cassidy with Ospreay, now it's here. It's going to be a good match, and it's kind of the best thing. The best thing we can do is just kind of enjoy it, I guess. So
I will say it makes for a hell of a poster. Right, when they throw that graphic up, it sure looks like a mega match. I'm not big on the big multi-mans at this point. Honestly, AEW doesn't do them very much, which is, I think, indicative that Tony Khan isn't a massive fan of the triple threat or the fatal four-way. In fact, has he ever done a fatal four-way?
He's only doing a triple threat.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah, it's interesting. But anyway, I'm sure it'll be great. John Moxley, Hiroshi Tanahashi. There has been some chow. Not scoopsters, just people fantasy booking and wondering what it looks like if Tanahashi leaves with his belt tonight. Monty, any chance, mate? What do you think? Are you intrigued by the idea, or are you just like not happening, don't want it to happen? Where are you at on this?
It's not happening, is it?
No.
It's not happening. I guess it would pop me. Obviously, one of the first things you'd assume is how often will AEW actually be able to get him on TV, or is the bout going bye-bye? So it would be a pop, obviously, because Tanahashi is just fucking the best, but it's just like I can't see it, man. I think the match will be great later, but I can only see it going one way, to be honest. It's I said it from the start when Punk first injured his foot. Mox is their ace, and in times like this, you fall back on your ace, and he's the guy to wave the flag, carry the company, whatever it is he needs to do in Punk's absence. So, and then obviously that match when coming back is like blockbuster mega match.
That's the big thing, right? Is like it sure feels like the promotion's going through it right now. It's probably not the time to take a gamble on this. Like, as great as Tanahashi the wrestler is from a TV perspective, it would be pretty ballsy. It feels like it has to be Mox, right, Manny?
Yeah, I would be happy to see like Tana win, but at the same time, it's like I don't really want to say much about his performance, but because nobody really wants to say it, but I guess I'll just say I don't really think he's been that good lately. Because I've seen some of his stuff in New Japan. I don't think he's been good since he was like the Never champ. It's been going downhill. So even if you saw him like on that tag match, it looked like he was kind of like going through it.
He was saving it though in that tag match.
He was very road to, big road to energy.
Even in his match with Goto, he kind of looked like he was just kind of
same thing. He's saving it for the big ones, man.
Yeah, so hopefully he goes all out. Yeah, hopefully he goes all out, and then say if he does win. If you're AEW, do you just because after is a G1, and AEW never really has a champ on that much, anyways. But him going away for a month is kind of crazy.
Yeah, you can't ever you can do it, man.
I know AEW goes like maybe a week or two without seeing like a champ, but a month without seeing him is kind of like
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of But I think when it comes to Tanahashi, it's just in recent years I've always seen him kind of like he's just a big match. I see him as big match Tanner. Like old boy Tanner's just like that Wrestle Kingdom match. Like I'll bring it up. Like if you want to talk recent matches with Tanner, like it's fucking the fact that he went through that at his age and in his condition was incredible to me. Then obviously as recently as last year, I think I'll give at least 2 of his matches 4 stars last year. So he's last year the match against Shingo, like that was late notice. The one in Tokyo Dome. And it wasn't Wrestle Kingdom, but it was in the Tokyo Dome. So yeah, very last minute comes in against Shingo and has a 4-star match with him. It was incredible at his age, in his condition. I just think when Nog said big match Tanner, I think he's if you watch some of his recent matches, he hasn't really like gone for it, you know. But I think he's gonna make us feel something tonight.
You just got to remember too.
He'll probably sell me a ticket, to be honest, on a near fall or something. So we'll see what happens.
We just got to remember too. This is the first time all the New Japan wrestlers are wrestling in front of 10,000.
Yeah, he's gonna feel that.
That can make a lot of noise. Like Tanahashi got pumped up when he was hearing "Holy shit" chants. So, and even though Okada came out looking like a dork, he came out looking like looking like a dork. He was still pumped up and everything when he heard all the loud reaction and stuff. I don't know. Okay, because I heard you guys talking about it last time, like how Okada came out like that. I kind of saw it too, but
bro, I was never gonna bring that shit up, bro. I'll be real. I threw that to back up Hangman, was like, listen, he may take it there, and I pretty much totally agree. But there ain't no fucking way you're getting this brilliant on a podcast talking about Okada's debut being bad. No. I ain't getting clipped like that. No way.
But the thing is, you gotta remember, like, as soon as it ended, he went out there and started taking pictures with Orange Cassidy and doing. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows Okada is like a big like dork and stuff like that, like in real life. I think what happened was he was just like having fun backstage with the Chaos guy, like the best friends and stuff, and then just went out there and was just like.
He's not the most intense. Yeah, he's not the most like naturally fired up personality. That's kind of part of his charm.
And I was watching the countdown show earlier, and my girlfriend was with me, and literally when he came on screen, the first thing she said was like, "He's pretty."
I often say that.
If you see Okada too in that post thing, he was so happy to be like. If you see him in that debut, it didn't look like he was that interested in all that. He just wanted to have fun. But in the countdown show, he was like serious and was just like, he's been waiting to wrestle on AEW. So he was just. I wish we got that Okada in there, because if you compare him to when he was doing the Noah stuff, he buried Noah. But he didn't bury AEW in this show, so
it'd be interesting. The Tanahashi part of this is like, I'm pretty confident it's Tanahashi, but I will admit, as someone that adores him and loves him, I'm not gonna say terrified, but I'm very concerned. Not because I've seen stuff that makes it go. The last thing I want to see is like people tomorrow being like, maybe Tanahashi sucks, but I've never seen him wrestle, being like, oh, maybe he sucks. It would be fucking brutal, man. I can't do it.
Say he does win. Who do you send if you're AEW? Who do you send to replace him in the G1? Because
if he can't be it,
So who would you send from AEW that you're willing to miss for a month?
I don't know if they can do it, man. I really don't. I just don't think. Like, if this was again, if they had their whole roster but not Punk, you could talk yourself into it and be like, he can be gone for a month. We'll show some of the matches on like the YouTube or whatever the fuck. But with the roster looking how it looks, there is no way you can take that gamble. Look, I'm not a ratings guy, but 2 weeks ago they were at like 700 something. You can't risk it, man. You need to just go all in on Mox, and as you put it, build it so that when Punk's back, it's blockbuster. That's what
I was thinking Brody King, but at the same time, I was like, is Brody King even like a big enough name to replace Tanahashi? Then I'm like, if you're Dynamite, if you're AEW, like, I don't know if you want to be gone without Brody King, even though you don't use him as much. Like, you need him as an extra body just in case something happens, because it's so bad that they're reaching into ROH bodies, to fill in the rest of the show. Because did you see SRS's report earlier saying that there's more injuries? AEW's injuries are so deep that they don't know, like, they're not even giving out the names of people that are injured.
Yeah, that's how it always is, though, to be honest. It's like, yesterday I done that tweet and it was like updated list of AEW's injuries, and it was just a list of everyone. I was like, this is just what we know and what's been reported.
Yeah, and they're
there's always more WWE, AEW. Obviously, there must be a substantial amount more, or at least a few, decent sized names for Sean to put that in a report. But yeah, man, they're going through it at the moment, and on top of the long injury list, that's without MJF being nowhere to be seen, Jeff Hardy having his issues. Jeff Hardy isn't exactly going out there and having 5-star matches every week, but of course he's a draw, and as Joe alluded to, look, that's kind of where they shouldn't really be taking risks right now. So if they were to send someone over to G1, say if you was getting Tanner as the world champion, AEW champion in return, obviously you'd have to send them like a pretty decent size name.
You can't replace him, man. They can't.
You'd have to send them. Well, you can't send them Jericho.
No,
You couldn't even send them Jericho. Like maybe you couldn't. Kingston's not big enough now. I don't think in Japan to send over there.
They haven't got anyone who's healthy to replace him. You'd have to send Danielson, and he can't go. So like that's it. It's Tanahashi, man. That's the fucking guy.
And the thing too is that people are saying that he's not really going to be doing anything in the G1 either, because he's not on the last day of the tour, so he's not in the important match. Mm-hmm. So people say, well, do you want also the AEW champ to be getting pinned a lot too? Because that's what they think that's going to happen.
No, G1's different. You get pinned in a G1.
Bro, look how hard it's been. Look how hard it's been to get this show together in terms of who's getting pinned. You think TK is gonna have that AEW champ getting fucking pinned by Yoshihashi and the B Block or whatever the fuck? It's not happening, man. It just can't. It just don't make. Now is not the time. And I'm with Peter. I don't give a shit about the ratings, but if ever there was a time to just do what was safe, it's now. Don't gamble on that front.
Yeah, anyway, I don't care about the ratings either, but I just don't want to be on Twitter and just hearing people DMing me too, like, you hear about the ratings and stuff like that, bro. I don't really care.
It's not like I'm not gonna watch the show if it does a shit rating, but when AEW does a shit rating, or even WWE, you can kind of expect a reaction. So it's like, even if you just want to sit back and enjoy it, if you are aware of what the numbers are and stuff like that, it's kind of hard to ignore them. And that's kind of why we talk about them so much, I guess. Because it kind of does have an effect. If AEW went for a string of free shitty Dynamite numbers, the product is probably gonna get, they're probably gonna do something about it. In WWE's case, they do something drastic, hot shot, and all that sort of stuff. So, man, it's hard. It's a hard scenario to kind of play around with.
I'm told that Kevin Kelly and the gang are at the booth. The buy-in has started. I hope everyone has a wonderful time watching the Forbidden Door. Manny, any final thoughts, comments, plugs, so on and so forth?
I'm just more pumped up now since after talking about it.
Yeah, it's fun.
And then you guys just follow me on Twitter. Just don't follow me if you're gonna keep mentioning me about Orange Cassidy and Thunder Rosa. That's what everybody always does. After a Thunder Rosa match, somebody mentions me. So, Rosa hater, how do you feel about that? I was like,
I can't believe the promo you can't hear early. That was unbelievable. I can't believe it. Incredible.
I'm gonna edit it out.
I would too. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want her coming after me.
Any final thoughts, pal?
I know it was a little bit negative. In the build up to this, but I feel like even the biggest AEW fans and New Japan fans can probably sympathise with that, with the injuries and some of the matches that have been booked on this. And that's not to say that any of the matches are bad matches or anything. It's just kind of not what I was expecting or fantasy booking when I first heard about the card coming out. But now that the day's here, I'm fired up, especially with the Claudio aspect, which is kind of an ironic pop in a way because it has absolutely nothing to do with the Forbidden Door. Well, I guess it kind of course it does, because you'll be wrestling Zack Sabre Jr. and just the idea of that fires me up as well. And yeah, same old. Like, subscribe on here. Hit up the website WrestlePurists.com. Follow us on Twitter at WrestlePurists.
Oh, they just added another match to the bio.
Oh my God! Who now?
Is it?
Lance Archer versus Nick Comoroto.
Oh, fucking hell. Go watch it, folks. There it is. Archer Comoroto. All right. Like, subscribe, work, good stuff. Have a great night, folks. We love you.
Yeah.